Emma Snowsill, welcome back to Australia. It must be nice to come back to the Gold Coast and see what you've missed the last 4 months.
Yeah, well, I have to say the first night home I saw rain, which is something I haven't seen in the last 4 months. I know the Gold Coast and the rest of Queensland has, so. But it's nice to just to come back, see Mum and Dad, and yeah, fit into a routine pretty quickly, which I know.
Emma, tell us about the tree change that you've gone through in the wilds of Africa. Just tell us, give us a snapshot of what the last 4 months has been like for you.
Yeah, look, it's been really, really interesting for me to be in a totally different area and train in a totally different environment. Obviously, Africa is very, very hot and dry as well, so I really enjoyed that aspect of the weather. But yeah, it was basically, it's very much an outdoor area, and where I was training was very much catered also for trail running and mountain biking, and that was something that I was able to have a little bit of an opportunity to do when I was first getting back into training. And yeah, it's just been really, really refreshing for the mind, you know, to be somewhere different, to not have the you know, necessarily the same comparisons of riding and running, and just to be able to switch off and just go into a mode of, you know, putting in the miles and the hours, but also really, really enjoying it.
Emma, what's the most unusual thing, or some of the unusual things that you've come across being in where you've been the last 4 months?
Baboons on the road. That wasn't always an interesting one. That was probably the one time you didn't want to have bananas in your back pocket when you were riding up a mountain. So yeah, there was obviously some things that you certainly don't see here riding on the Gold Coast. But yeah, look, it's a really fantastic country, and I really had no idea what to expect when I was going there. I'd only ever raced there once in 2005, and yeah, it's very diverse, and a lot of it really does remind me of Australia. So you know, we have a very strong rivalry in sport, as I soon found out when I arrived, and was given a lot of flack over football and cricket. But yeah, it's only a matter of getting out and training with some of the people that you know that are available to train with there as well. You know, you have many world championship mountain bikers, world champions, I should say, and there really is quite a it's sort of a unknown, untouched area in that regard, but the athletes that go there seem to make it a little bit of a secret, and I've long heard about it, but finally got to experience it myself.
You look refreshed and really fighting fit. I mean, that's probably the key to the previous 12 months, where you did struggle with injuries and having to come back from that. So you look great. You feel good?
Yeah, look, I mean, the biggest thing is an off-season, you know, that really does cater for how the racing season's going to go. And I really found that last year, you know, I didn't have the opportunity to put in a base season because I'd been out with a virus for 5 months, and that really showed, and I really learnt a lot in that time. So yeah, it's really important to feel strong at this time of the year, and that's something that I've really made sure that I've gone about doing, and I know that that's what I need for me to perform well. So you know, fingers crossed, it may be a slower start to what I'm used to, but I know that I've got to show that consistency throughout the season, and also have a really good race, you know, come around London.
And looking towards starting the season in Medallist, which is exciting, isn't it?
Oh, it's always fantastic. You know, the Sunshine Coast has always served me really well for races, and I really enjoy racing there. It does feel like my second home in Australia, and yeah, to race on home soil is something that you just don't get all that often, and it's always great to have a home ground advantage, so I'll be using that as best I can.
And you said it's about 2 years since you've raced here.
Yeah, I mean, that really alone surprises me. So yeah, it's really, you know, obviously being around the races is one thing, but being able to race is another. So it doesn't feel that long, but so I'm really looking forward to it.
And it won't be easy for you, Emma, because the fields look like they're going to be like a mini world championship.
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously this race alone is never easy, regardless of who's on the start line, but it's always great to have, you know, as many girls that you're going to be racing throughout the season as possible. You know, it really gives you an opportunity to see where you're at, where you need to make some changes in terms of coming to the next race, but it's also one that you don't really have a lot of expectations for either, because you've really come off a long base training. The intensity hasn't necessarily been so high, so sometimes it's a matter of just a battle of odds against yourself and getting through the race and just enjoying it and enjoying getting back into race mode.
Because the Sunshine Coast really has an amazing feel for you know, for the triathlon events they've had over there over the years at Noosa and of course Medallist. As you said, at your second home.
Yeah, triathlon's really embraced up there, and I think that's fantastic due to, you know, the events that have been up there. So, you know, the sport's growing and growing, but it really is a great feeling to travel around the world and to come back to somewhere, you know, home, but also not far from home, and experience such amazing events as well. So it's a real credit to, you know, to everything that gets put into it.
And then on to Sydney for the opening race of the World Series. That's exciting. Well, it's always exciting to go to Sydney, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously for me, it was one of the first races I ever got to watch was the Sydney Olympics. So it's a very special place in my memory, and I haven't had the opportunity to actually ever compete there, but it's something that I'm really looking forward to. And to kick off the start of a new season is, you know, it really shows that triathlon is on the map, and Sydney, I think, is a spectacular host.
And what about your schedule for the series? How many of these World Championship races will you do, Emma?
Well, based on the fact that they take your 4 best races, you know, I would like to look at racing less, and obviously, you know, you can obviously drop your worst performance. But at this, right at the moment, I'd be looking at doing Sydney and then racing Yokohama, maybe missing 1 or 2 of the races, having another block of training, and then racing the second half and the final. So that's, yeah, like I said, it's become really important for me to choose my races carefully, not over race. But in the same breath, it also caters for the fact that if something really went wrong and you had a puncture and couldn't finish, you've got the opportunity to still do another race and pick another, you know, pick up more points that way.
And just back on Sydney, to be able to go there with as part of the Australian team and have your Beijing teammate and world champion Emma Moffat there as well, Emma Jackson, a host of young Australians coming up, to be there in Sydney with the Australians, none better.
Yeah, I think it really showcases, you know, it showcases the sport to the world, but also the talent that we have in Australia. I mean, we won, you know, junior, under 23, senior world titles at the World Championships. So we really are the nation to watch, and I think we need to make sure that people don't get any other ideas, and we're going to make sure we do it on home soil as well.
And then on to London too. That's exciting to be able to race on the Olympic course 12 months before the Olympics. Yeah,
look, it's going to be there's going to be a lot of pressure on that race, obviously being part of our selection, but it's always fantastic, you know, to see them evolving and what they want to do with the, you know, the racetrack and how they want to change things and make it the best Olympic course possible. So yeah, it makes it really exciting, and hopefully by the end of this season I'll know whether or not I'll be racing there in August next year.
Because as you said, you can nail a spot on the Olympic team this year, can't you?
That's right, yeah. So we have to win London and also place top 3 in the series. So yeah, it's really important for us to have some great races.
And then to finish in Beijing, which some wonderful memories of that race, winning the Olympic gold in 2008. To finish the series there must be exciting as well.
Yeah, it's going to be very special. You know, I haven't been back there in obviously 3 years. I haven't had a race there, and to go back and have a final the year before another Olympics, I think will be really special and create some, you know, obviously got some wonderful memories there as well, and I'd really like to create some more and have another great race there.
And finally, Emma, what's the best thing about being at home with Mum?
I'm the golden child.
And getting looked after, getting pampered a bit, which is nice, eh?
Yeah, no, look, it's always great just to you know, just be at home, sit around the table and just talk about what's going on and, you know, where I've been and what I've been doing, and catch up with everyone. You know, that's what life's all about. We all move at a pretty fast pace, but just to sit and slow down for a little bit and enjoy the time that you have with family and friends is really important.
And nice to be included in a very special launch here on the Gold Coast today for the Karen Phillips book. To have your chapter in there amongst the who's who of women in Australia must be exciting for you.
Yeah, it's very humbling, and the more, you know, you sort of get to understand and know the other women in the book, and it really is quite a unique book in that respect. But also, like I said, on one hand I feel almost a little uncomfortable being a part of it, but I guess the power of sport is really strong, and that really is become evident in the fact that a sportswoman is included among so many other women that are doing so many other things in the world and with their lives and through the experiences that they've had and been through. And yeah, look, like I said, it's a very special time, and I feel very privileged to be a part of it.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.